Recently, I've been going through my backlog of games, and the millions and millions of games that have 0 hours on them that I bought on a whim because they were on sale because Steam Summer Sale or Winter Sale was active, and I've been trying to participate in playing them. Now, a weird thorough line has happened with a certain character trope that I didn't even know existed, but apparently it exists. All I gotta say is, why is everybody carrying a coffin around? Now, I first noticed this sort of phenomenon from Locha, from a game called Honkai Star Rail about a year ago. Now, I didn't think that much of it. I did think he's a very cool character. He's got the nice white priest robes, cool sword, little healing aesthetic, and of course, the coffin, the adorned coffin with a literal body of a dead god, or like a portion of a dead god in his coffin, which is crazy. But then, throughout the last year, I have seen 5 others. And it's weird because I haven't seen these, even if they have come out before him. I didn't see all these until this year. I'm talking James Moriarty from FGO. I'm talking Gold Lewis Dickinson from Guilty Gear. I'm talking Grave from Nikke, literally in the name. I'm talking the Coffin Princess, Chika, the Coffin Princess, the anime. It's not a game, but I thought I'd bring it up because very similar. And of course, this one's gonna be a bit of a stretch, but Thanatos from Persona 3 Reload, since those little things around his neck are in fact a necklace of sorts, but they're a bunch of coffins that have the will of every human that's ever died whatsoever, and their soul. That's just cool. And among all these characters, there's kind of a nice through line where all these characters have a coffin but could exist without the coffin, but the coffin completes them in a sort of weird way. Let's talk about Grave, for example, from Nikke. The body, this is a bit of a spoiler, but, who cares? The thing inside of the coffin is a person. It is a fellow Nikke, which is its own deal, but effectively it's a person that she, Grave, is trying to revive, and does so successfully. But the whole point is that it is like a hospital room for that woman to keep her on life support so she can live. And, if you think about Chika from the Coffin Princess, this is a bit of a spoiler, but her father's remains are in the coffin, and she's trying to revive him. That's the whole point. Although there's a bit of a plot twist, that's kind of the main idea. And also, she can fit a sniper rifle in there that can shoot magic. But, c'est la vie, huh? And even more so, James Moriarty, the famous villain from Sherlock Holmes, all the Sherlock Holmes books. Well, there's a bunch of villains depending on which book you read, but he's like the main villain. He's the main evil guy. He's super evil guy for Sherlock. And his shtick in FGO, Fake Grand Order, is that he has a giant coffin in which he can use his final, most powerful move, where it becomes a, railgun, effectively, in which he shoots people with it. That's just cool. And, to top it off, Gold Lewis Dickinson has a whole Area 51 alien in his coffin, which he uses to attack transgender people. Not cool, Gold Lewis, by the way. But he has a whole alien, a extraterrestrial life form inside of his coffin. That's crazy. And when you look at all these characters, the coffin, I already said this, but it completes their character. They are their own character without it, but it completes it. It adds a element of not only story narrative, because all of the coffins have some sort of story narrative. There's always something to do with the coffin. It's a very good plot element. It's a very good emotional element. I mean, not if it's just a straight up railgun or there's an alien inside of it. But if you're, carrying the remains of your father or someone you're trying to revive that you think is the prettiest woman in the whole world, that's interesting. That's interesting character development. I love this trope, and I don't see a whole lot of it. And I feel that in the future, we are going to be seeing a whole lot of it. Because it's just that interesting. It's just a good character trope. And most of all, them being coffins in and of themselves represent so much. Not only for the coffin and whatever is inside of it, but for the person who carries it. It represents a burden. It represents emotional baggage, unfortunately, a lot of the time. There's always the element of mortality and legacy and all this other stuff. Most of all, in all the games I play, you could kind of play as the characters. And you get to, fight with the coffin, typically. Or do something with the coffin. And it shows this vulnerability, but also the strength in that vulnerability. It's so fascinating. Anyway, this video was purely made to let people know about this trope if they haven't figured it out for themselves, and hopefully bring some more attention to these characters. And I don't think I got all the characters. Leave your comments down below if you have a character that I missed that carries a coffin around and has some deep emotional baggage and is trying to resurrect their dead friend or something like that. Excuse me. But this is cool, and I think it needs to be shared, and that's why I'm doing it. So I'm going to just finish this off by saying thank you for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you dislike, and I'll see you later.